It's health and well-being. And naturopath David Lomman is with us again.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. One of the most important things is that the food that we eat actually has minerals in it. One of the difficulties with that these days is that a lot of the foods don't. And as I was saying before, that's why they go off so quickly. So very poor quality food will go off quickly. So if you're bringing something home, you put it in the fridge, it's gone off within a few days, that's a poor mineral quality food. Sometimes you can open up an apple and it's rotten inside. That's a poor mineral quality food. If you get a lemon and the seeds aren't fresh and you couldn't chew those seeds because they've got a lot of juice and goodness in those seeds themselves, then that is a poor quality lemon, which means that the minerals that lemon is grown on is poor quality. The importance is that we start to look for food which is actually healthy looking. I go a little bit off some of the organic stuff sometimes when I see it and see that it's also very poor quality, and that tells me that the soil that it's actually grown in is poor quality. But in the main, I believe that the organic food is a better choice of food for most people.
And what foods should we most definitely be staying away from?
As far as possible, foods which have been over-processed. And that's most of the breakfast cereals that come in a box. Mm-hmm. If you want a breakfast cereal, get a muesli and add to it a lot of seeds and soak it overnight in the way that muesli was originally done under the Birch Benner style. So that, to me, is the best way to have something for breakfast. If you're a tall, skinny type like I am, you could also have eggs for breakfast. But I would always add in some vegetables to those eggs. It'd be spinach, or it'd be a sweet potato, or it'd be zucchini, or all three of them. And the eggs are just added into that, which means that you've got a good mineral mix. So the more you add different types of foods together which are compatible, the more minerals you're going to take into your body.
Now, you're a very strong advocate for vegetables. We've spoken about that the last couple of weeks. Even more so, steering away from the fruit to more vegetables.
One of the problems is that the high fructose that our bodies have become almost accustomed to these days are one of the things that is putting on a lot of weight on people. So normally, if I'm working with someone who's got a weight issue, one of the things I'll do is restrict their fruit initially, anyway, to only one piece a day, first thing in the morning. And then the rest of the day, through the day, is more vegetables.
Mm. Tell me some more. What areas else should we be concentrating on when it comes to minerals and indigestion or digestion?
Or digestion
yes.
is that the food is readily digestible.
Yes.
So that means that if somebody's got a digestive problem, they've got reflux or something else, they're probably going to have to cook their food to start. And you basically treat the person as though they've got a baby's stomach and digestive system. And you say you would not give a baby a salad, for instance. You would give a baby cooked food. And that's how we start them off, to give them cooked food so that their body has something soft to work on. They'll get more nutrition out of that, and that will help to rebalance their body.
Your thoughts on, you've already mentioned on nuts. What about your thoughts on berries and other things along those lines?
Look, there's some really good berries out there. Blueberries, some of the other berries, though, like strawberries, tend to be over chemicalized. There's a lot of them, and that's why I'd look for things which are not as heavily sprayed as some others.
As natural as you can possibly get.
As natural as you can get.
Yeah, no spraying involved.
No. Go down to the farmers markets on a Sunday, get the best stuff you can get, or find a shop where you know that the quality is good, and keep going back there.
Now, we're going to take a short break. Where do we come from after that?
I want to go on a little bit more about digestion, because one of the major issues that seems to happen with a lot of people that I see in the clinic these days is that they've been on digestive support medicines for some years, and then it just keeps progressively getting worse in their digestive system, and they never seem to get off them. Well, it's actually not difficult to get off them. One of the major issues that I see in clinic just about every day is people coming in with digestive problems which they've never been able to sort out, and they've been on medication for years and years and years. So they come in and they've got reflux, or they've got heartburn, and it doesn't matter what they do, they always get these things. And normally you can clear that up within a couple of weeks and actually help people get off of the medications by giving them the right minerals and the right enzymes for their body. Because it's the enzymes that do the digestive work. And to me, when people have reflux or heartburn or wind or gas, excessive amounts, it's just because they don't have sufficient of the right minerals nor the enzymes in their body.
Now, you've mentioned a couple there, and these are very prominent with a lot of people. They have these problems and they're an ongoing concern. What are some of the others that are very prominent?
The other digestive problems,
Yes.
Constipation.
Yes.
Constipation is a major problem.
And what can be leading to that?
Lack of enzymes was one of the major causes of that. Because if you haven't got the right digestive function in your gut system, you're not going to produce a mix of the right quality as it goes through the bowel, which means that things can get clogged up there.
What can counter that? What should we be taking dietary-wise to counter that?
Vegetables. You go back to the vegetables, you go back to the right mix of foods, you can go back and you can go into linseeds and add linseeds to lots of things. There's a whole different raft of things that can be done. One of the other things that people can consider is colonic irrigation, and that's something that I suggest for most people who have got serious problems because it takes the pressure out of their body.
Okay, so there's another option there. Some other areas that we should be concerned about and we should be looking for some relief with?
Thyroid conditions. Most people who are on thyroxine, which is a medication for the thyroid, they may need the thyroxine. However, they also need to be aware that the mineral deficiencies that they have in their body are contributing towards those issues and problems, and they can actually do something about that as well. Even if they have to stay on the thyroxine, it doesn't get any worse.
This is our third week of the Health and Wellbeing Program. You've already had some people who've been prompted to touch base with you to see if you can offer some solutions and some relief for problems that they've had. What are some of the areas that they've come to you with?
Chronic fatigue, tiredness, digestive problems. I get people with all different sorts of complaints. Thyroid conditions is a common one. But mostly, and also depression, anxiety and depression, they're major things which can all be helped. And if I...
Undoubtedly, there's somebody listening right now, and you've just touched on problems that they've got in their life, and they're thinking, I don't seem to be able to get any relief. They can come to you, they can contact you.
They can. Myself or any other naturopath, we're all trained in being able to help people in those areas. I use the RBTI analysis because I find that helps me to pinpoint what's actually happening in the body, and I look at the biochemistry through that, and that's an easy explanation for people to understand, and they really get it. The other thing is that, and I'll be a little bit sexist here, but it is easier for men to understand something which is in black and white, that we give a report with the RBTI and they can really understand what's going on in their body much more easily. With women, they're usually more concerned about what's happening, so they're more up to date with things. With men, sometimes they have to be dragged along.
Now, for the last couple of weeks, you've mentioned the RBTI analysis. Just break it down in layman's terms for those listening, and we'll finish on this today. What is it, and how can it help? And is it something big? Is it something that people should be, a little bit fearful of, or just break it down?
It's very simple. It's basically getting a sample of urine and saliva, being able to analyze that urine and saliva with some laboratory equipment. That forms a formula. And when I look at that formula, and the people that I've trained look at that formula, we're able to tell from that what is actually happening in the biochemistry of the body.
Okay, and we'll explore that even more over the next few weeks.
We will indeed. Next week
we'll talk about...
I'd like to talk about enzymes.
Okay.
Because they are one of the 4 building blocks of the body, and everything else needs enzymes. So we start with water, we have food, we have minerals, and all of that goes up to make sure that we get the right amount of enzymes in our body.